Step number 8. Identify your list segmentation strategy. What is segmentation? Segmentation means separating your list subscribers into smaller sublists based on their specific interests or preferences. It's not enough that they are interested in your niche generally. It's not enough that they are looking to solve a certain set of problems. By breaking down their specific interests in your niche, you can send them more targeted information that could lead to them buying more products. You can also segment people based on their purchasing behavior. You are leaving a lot of money on the table if you keep most of your list members on your general info list. You can send update after update to this general list, and I can almost guarantee that the majority of the people are probably not going to buy stuff. Wouldn't it be a better use of your time to get this list of people to filter themselves by going on a buyer's list? Once they are on your buyer's list, you can then send better crafted or more targeted emails to get them to buy stuff. Implementing segmentation strategies. To get people to filter themselves into sublists, send email updates with links to more specialized email lists. These lists target more specific needs. Over time, as you send one update after another, these sublists will fill up with people. You then need to send specific emails targeting the particular interests of the people on those sublists. This increases the likelihood that people in the specialized list would buy something because you are pushing products and services that cater to their particular interests. The second way you can segment is to get people to sign up to sublists from the beginning. That's right, you're not starting out with a general list. Instead, when people go to your blog or your website, they see different ads for mailing lists. These ads actually talk about specific issues and are very different from each other. When somebody clicks on a particular ad, they sign up for a list that only talks about the issues raised by the ads. They also only offer incentives that address tightly defined specific issues. This is a slower way of building lists, but it's more targeted. With everything else being equal, the slow growth rate of your mailing lists can be offset by the higher sales conversions of people signing up to those specialized sub-lists. The third approach you could take involves selling lower dollar items. You start with your general list, and you send one update after another promoting a $1 product. When people buy these $1 items, they end up on your buyer's list. Behind the scenes, they are automatically unsubscribed from your main list. Given enough time, you should have a fairly nice list of people who have bought $1 items. You then should focus most of your time crafting high-converting updates that target your buyer's list. This maximizes your return on effort. Instead of sending update after update to your general info list, hoping that people will buy a $20, $50, or even a $300 item, focus all your conversion firepower on a list of people who are tried and proven buyers. This saves you a lot of time and effort. You should still send updates to your general information list. However, you should space these apart and focus on value. You should also advertise only lower dollar items. If you do this right, you would be able to save a lot of money while making a lot of money. How is this done? First, you can easily see through your email list management system which of your list members are not opening your emails. You then prune these general information list members by automatically unsubscribing people who have not opened your emails. Whoever is left still opens your emails, and you still have a chance of converting these people into buyers later. If done right, segmenting your list into a general information list, then a buyer's list not only saves you time, but it also can save you money later. Be aware of your competitors' industry standard list segmentation. At this point, you should have already signed up to your competitors' mailing list. You should already know the topics that they send updates on. You should also be very familiar with the content of their updates. Pay attention to the common features of these emails and try to connect the dots. How do they segment their list members? Which of the general strategies described above are they using? Once you are clear as to their segmentation strategy, you might want to start there. Again, this is the industry standard. You're not exactly married to it. You can change it up later. You can make improvements based on how your list behaves. Don't neglect this segmentation strategy. Let's face it, people do unsubscribe. This is a fact of life. Don't think that just because you work hard to offer the right incentives to the right people, that they would remain loyal to your list. People do sign up, and after some time they unsubscribe. However, you can reduce your unsubscribe rate by simply asking people who wish to unsubscribe to change the update frequency of their membership on your list. Depending on your list automation software, you can offer list members a choice as to how frequently you will send them updates. Don't neglect this powerful tip, because this can save your list. Instead of the vast majority of your list members unsubscribing after a certain amount of time, you can hang on to a large chunk of them and possibly convert them into buyers later. Why segment? Why should you segment your list? People find themselves in your mailing list for a wide variety of reasons. While they share a common interest in your niche, that's probably the only thing they have in common. They can all agree on the one problem your niche focuses on. Despite this, they might have different related problems they need solved. A problem like weight loss, for example, has many different parts. Maybe some people are struggling with weight loss because of their metabolic rate. Other people simply eat a lot and have impulse control problems. Others tend to have a certain lifestyle. Whatever the case may be, these people agree on the common problem of weight loss. However, they may have different sub-problems they need addressed. As a result, they might need different stages of the conversion process. Some may need more information before they commit to buying a product. Others are already clear on the solution, but they just need a recommendation they can trust. Obviously, you can't send the same message to these people and expect the same results. It's just not going to happen. For every one person who is ready to whip out their credit card and make a purchase, there are probably dozens if not hundreds of others who are still trying to make up their mind. Maybe they are looking for more information. Maybe they already have an idea, but they need to know more about specific solutions. Maybe others trust a solution but just need you to push them off that fence. Do you see the difference among these groups of people? This is where segmentation comes in. You need to set up a process where the people can be sent messages that will push them closer to the point of conversion. I've already covered the 3 strategies you should use to segment your mailing list. The following segmentation strategies are more detailed. Implement them after you've done the 3 main strategies listed above. You can segment your list members' emails using the following criteria. Location. If you tend to attract list members from many parts throughout the country, and you send out offers that can be regionalized, this may be a good option for you. Send only updates related to a specific region to people who live there. This makes the information more relevant to them, builds more trust, and leads to greater conversions down the road. Activity level. People who open your emails a lot have different expectations from people who casually open your emails. For people who are very big fans of your mailing list, you might want to ask them to sign up for another list in exchange for a reward. When they sign up for this other list, you can send them more frequent updates, and you can probably get away with trying to push them harder to buy stuff. They probably wouldn't mind because they already made it a habit to open and read your emails. Less frequent openers, on the other hand, can remain on your main list. You can send them updates at regular intervals. Lack of activity. If people sign up for your autoresponder series but don't seem to open your emails, you might want to set up an automatic reminder system. Depending on the email platform you're using, set up the system to send a reminder email asking the recipient to respond or ask you a question. This lets you know whether the recipient is completely ignoring your emails. If this is the case, then you can prune these list members. Since they're no longer opening your emails and you've already reached out to them to get them to open your emails, it's probably a safe bet that you can delete them from your subscriber base without any negative effects. Just send different updates based on incentives downloaded by the list member. As I mentioned earlier, you can run different email lists on the same blog or website page. When people click these ads to sign up to a list, they're actually signing up to different email lists. Usually, these different lists offer different incentives. Increase the conversion rate of these different lists by making sure that your updates are guided by the incentive downloaded by the list members. For example, if the list member downloaded a video, chances are quite good that this person probably would want to watch other videos. On the other hand, if this person downloaded a graphics template or a graphics package, they're probably more interested in similar types of content. Make sure that your updates speak to these different incentive preferences so you can maximize your sales conversions. Separate info list members from buyers using low-dollar product offers. I've mentioned this above, but this is so powerful that I can't help but mention it again. Depending on your niche, it may be unavoidable that you end up with a general information list. You work hard to offer incentives, get people to sign up to your mailing list, and at the end of the day, you have a lot of people on this list. However, these people are generally just looking for general information on your niche. They're also all over the place when it comes to conversionability. In this case, it's a good idea to send regularly scheduled updates with low-dollar information product offers. Personally, I would push for really cheap stuff. We're talking about a $1 booklet, a $1 template package, or whatnot. Let your system send out these offers and set up your email on this management software to unsubscribe people automatically who buy these $1 items. Here's how you set it up. It's actually quite simple. When you send out your updates to your general information list, these updates will contain a link to your sales pitch. When people click that link, they see a purchase button. When they purchase, they were actually taken first to an email sign-up page. When they enter the same email address they used to get on your general information list, your email management software system will automatically unsubscribe them from the general information list and put them on the buyer's list. This way, when you send updates to your general information list, your tried and proven buyers will not see those updates. This is a good thing because you don't want them to feel that you're spamming them by sending them so many emails. You should then pay more attention to your buyers list. Maybe you should send them updates with more in-depth solutions. Or you should send them higher quality information to get them to buy higher priced products or services. Segment your list based on mobile versus desktop. This is really non-negotiable. Over 60% of internet users view the internet through a mobile device. The problem is that these devices have different screen sizes. Make sure your mailing list segments your list buyers based on their screen preference. Depending on the email list automation software you're using, you should be able to automatically detect this. Regardless, your squeeze page must be mobile ready. In other words, it doesn't really matter what device visitors use to view your squeeze page, your page would look really good. It would look its best. Optimize your squeeze page for all environments. It shouldn't matter whether your audience is viewing your squeeze page through a mobile phone, a desktop, or a tablet. Conclusion. Email list marketing is far and away one of the best ways you can market online. As I've mentioned in the introduction of this training, search engine marketing, for all its innovation, can't even come close. Mailing lists enable you to speak directly to the needs of your audience, regardless of where they are in the world and at any time. You can send them an email at any time, and you can rest assured that a significant percentage of your mailing list members will get to see your updates. Email list marketing is so powerful because it is based on a relationship. By following the 8 steps that I've laid out in this training, you can learn how to recruit a lot of people to your mailing list, speak to their needs, and convert them to maximize your income. The best part to all of this is that mailing list marketing enables you to earn an income in an automated way. You don't have to actively manage each member. Your mailing list software will do it behind the scenes for you. Your list can continue to attract and market to members around the clock without your direct supervision. You could be taking a vacation halfway around the world, and your mailing list continues to generate cold hard cash. Sounds awesome, right? Well, the devil is in the details. This is why I've broken down email marketing into 8 actionable steps. Pay attention to the steps laid out in this training, carry them out, optimize your system, and scale it up. Whether you're looking to earn a few $1,000s more per month or you're looking for 7 figures, email marketing gives you the opportunities you need to earn your desired income. I wish you nothing but the greatest success. Step number 1. Be clear on who you wish to market to. If you have a fuzzy idea of who your target audience is, you are going to fail with email marketing. You really are. You might as well give up now if you are chasing after some sort of vague defined market. Audience identification is crucial for niche list marketing. You cannot just target everybody. You have to drill down to a specific population of people who are trying to solve a fairly narrow set of problems. This is how you define their needs. By directly addressing the needs of these individuals, conducting enough consumer research, and speaking their language, you would be able to convert a high percentage of them from website visitors to list members to product buyers. It is crucial that you go from raw traffic to dollars in your bank account. Otherwise, you're just wasting your time. All the traffic in the world is not going to add 1 red cent to your bank account unless you target a specific niche market and give its audience the solutions that they are looking for. Finding the right audience. So how do you know which audience you should target? There are many different audiences out there. All of them cluster around a specific range of needs or problems. Well, it all boils down to commercial value of those needs. There are many problems out there that people are not going to pay top dollar to solve. Sure, people are looking for the right DVD set of headphones, but there is a limit to people's budgets. Different problems have different priorities. You need to find a niche that has enough commercial value. One way to estimate this is to use Google AdWords Keyword Planner and do cost per click research on keywords related to your niche. If you notice that advertisers are willing to pay a lot of money per click on those keywords, then you're in a good spot. Chances are there's enough commercial demand for that niche. People are willing to pay a significant amount of money to solve problems related to your niche. It's also important to make sure that you are targeting a niche that is big enough. Sure, there are lots of advertisers willing to pay a tremendous amount of money for structured settlement keyword traffic. We're talking about more than $20 per click. The problem is, the volume of searches for that niche is actually quite low. Make sure the niche you are targeting has enough demand as indicated by Google Keyword Planner. This tool not only tells you how much advertisers are willing to pay per click, but it will also give you an estimate of the volume of searches for keywords related to that niche. You're looking for a nice combination of decent commercial value with decent traffic volume. Finally, you should also pay attention to competition levels. If you pick a niche that is extremely competitive with gigantic brands monopolizing pretty much all the search volume for keywords related to that niche, you probably are going to have a tough time making inroads. You should look for a niche that is somewhat competitive, but not so competitive that there's absolutely no space for newcomers. How do you do competitive research? Very simple. Just get all the Google Keyword Planner tool keywords for the niches you are interested in. Plug them one by one into Google search box and you will see the number of pages competing for those keywords. This should give you a clear enough idea of how competitive certain niches are. At the end of this process, you should have a short list of niches that have decent commercial appeal and enough search volume every single month. Consider these 3 factors. Find your customers online. I've got some great news for you. Regardless of the niche that you selected, chances are very high your customers are already online. You just need to find them. This doesn't mean that there is a dedicated website that caters specifically to your niche audience. Instead, your niche audience members may simply be asking questions related to your niche. Maybe they're sharing infographics or photos and videos related to your niche. Whatever the case may be, they're already online exchanging content. Your job is to find all these areas online and listen to them. That's the main key you need to do for consumer intelligence. Pay attention to the words that they're using. Pay attention to the solutions that they're already talking about. Understand the shortcomings of the solutions people are already aware of. If you spend enough time on these online platforms like forums, message boards, Facebook groups, Facebook pages, Twitter accounts, Reddit, subreddits, and Quora or other question and answer platforms, you should have a clear understanding of who your audience members are and their expectations. You should also have a fairly clear idea of who your competitors are. I've got some bad news for you. Regardless of your niche, you probably already have competitors. This is not depressing news. Instead, you could use this to your advantage. Find the competitors competing for your target audience. Create a long list of them. Look for both direct and indirect competitors. Reverse engineer your competitors. Once you have a clear idea of who your competitors are, reverse engineer what they're doing. How do they speak to the needs of the people you're trying to reach? What do their websites look like? What kind of social media accounts do they have? What kind of content do they use for marketing purposes? How are their pages designed? You have to keep these and other related questions in mind as you research one competitor after another. After you've spent some time asking these questions and processing your competitors in a systematic and methodical way, you should have a clear idea of what your niche industry standard is. You would quickly find out that your niche competitors tend to look alike. They tend to address the same problems. They tend to have the same solutions. Their social media accounts tend to look similar to each other. Be mindful of this. Look at these similarities and understand that this is the industry standard in your niche. Whatever website or social media account or mailing list you come up with must fit the industry standard. Please understand that when you figure out the industry standard in your niche, it just gives you a place to start. You shouldn't start and end there. If anything, it just gives you a head start instead of fumbling around to come up with the right squeeze page or mailing list marketing materials for your niche. It gives you a place to start. What industry standard item should you look for? Pay attention to your competitor's squeeze page layout. This is the sign-up page your competitors use to get their target audience members to sign up for their mailing list. Pay attention to how they lay out these pages. What kind of pictures do they use? What kind of text do they present? How do they format their text? Do they tell stories? Do they show videos? Next, pay attention to their sales funnel layout. Your competitors have a standard way of getting people to sign up to the mailing list, and also selling those list members to a wide range of products and services. Be aware of how they do this. How do they take prospects through the sales process? Understand that their ultimate goal is to get list members to buy something. Try to figure out how their sales funnel is laid out and how it seeks to convert list members. Pay attention to the kind of freebies or incentives your competitors offer to get people to sign up to their mailing list. Do they use cheat sheets or short reports? Do they give away full books? Do they attract list members by offering a special video? Do they promise some sort of insider information that people have to sign up for to access? Be aware of the specific industry standard digital incentive your competitors give out. You're going to have to offer the same. You can tweak this later on, but you need to start out with this type of incentive. Subsequently, pay attention to the updates that they send. Do they talk about news and events? Do they seek to teach email recipients a wide range of solutions? Finally, pay attention to the stuff that they are promoting in their emails. You can bet that your competitors are sending out emails intended to make them money. If you click on the right link, it would lead you to a product they hope you would buy. The same goes with services. Pay attention to these. Identify the most common products that they push with their updates. Again, this forms the industry standard in your niche. Look for the industry standard because this is where you will start. It doesn't mean you have to start and end your email list marketing activities with the industry standard. Instead, it just gives you a tremendous head start because you're not fumbling around coming up with your own squeeze page and mailing list strategy which might fail. Instead, by going with a tried and proven industry standard, you can improve on mailing list practices that already exist. You just need to perfect whatever it is your competitors are already doing. Step number 3. Decide on your list incentive. Let's get one thing straight. People are not going to sign up to your mailing list just because. It is not like they don't have anything else better to do. You have to give them a compelling reason to sign up for your mailing list. There has to be something in it for them. This is where incentives come in. You're going to give away something for free, which adds value to your potential list members' lives. They would look at these incentives as ethical bribes. You're bribing them to join your mailing list. It's not enough to promise that you're going to give them great information regarding the niche they are interested in. Anybody can make that claim. To create the perception of value in the minds of your potential list members, you have to step up and give them a very powerful incentive. Now the next question becomes, what kind of incentive should you offer? The bad news is that it depends. I wish I could tell you that there is some sort of one-size-fits-all or universal answer to this question. There isn't. The winning incentive varies from niche to niche. It also varies based on the sources of traffic that you have. Accordingly, you have to play it by ear. Ideally, you should offer the 10 common types of incentives that I'm going to lay out below. You should offer them in sequence. Once you've gone through all 10, look through your conversion records and pick the incentives that got the most signups. That's the best way to know. Anybody could tell you that you should give away booklets or simply update people, but that's assuming too much. People who are interested in your niche might prefer something else. The best way to find the right incentive is to simply go through all 10 common incentives and pick the best performing type. Once you have found the highest converting type, then you can optimize as to which specific giveaway of that type works the best. I hope we're clear here. You have to go through this list. There are 10 common types of incentives you can offer. Here they are. Topic-based email series. This incentive spoon-feeds list members answers to the common problems they may have. The value add is the content they receive in their emails. People who sign up for this type of mailing list incentive expect that you would be sending them pre-programmed emails that would lead them through common problems associated with the niche they're interested in. You would start at the beginning, then teach them a few things, after which you then send another email which teaches the recipient another set of solutions, so on and so forth. This incentive gives you a tremendous opportunity to build expertise. You're not laying out all your expertise at once. Instead, you are sharing to the recipient certain solutions, which gives them enough time to implement until the next set of solutions comes. Cheat sheet. A cheat sheet is just one simple document. It may be a one-page item, or it can run several pages. Whatever form it takes, it is topic-based. A cheat sheet just focuses on one specific topic and breaks it down. The cheat sheets are very popular because they tend to highlight easy-to-know or easy-to-overlook information. People are constantly looking for stripped-down info. They don't have time. They just want to scan something that would give them the right answers as quickly as possible. They are also looking for something that spells out the answer in the simplest terms. It's easy to see the value of cheat sheets. It's no surprise that this form of mailing list incentive is quite popular. Template giveaway. Templates are very popular because people do not want to screw around with solving problems from scratch. They'd rather work with an existing template that they can just plug in specific information. Of course, template giveaways don't work across the board. While you can probably get a lot of subscribers for resume templates, you probably won't get as many takers if the template addresses something that is so specific or so abstract that it is not really all that relevant. Templates can work, but it all depends on your mailing list niche. Complete starter kit. You can compile all the solutions to a specific problem and give people access via an email link. Typically, this would involve people signing up to your squeeze page and being redirected to an online resource or a PDF file that compiles all the content the reader needs to solve a problem. This content can take many different forms. It can be a series of videos, audio files, or links to PDFs, or even other websites. The big value add here is the fact that you are compiling all these answers and putting them in one place. It solves the problem the user has in a very comprehensive way. Step-by-step plan. Oftentimes, when people are faced with a problem, they simply do not know where to start. Even if they have a fairly general idea of the solution, they don't have a plan to attack the problem in a comprehensive and clear way. A step-by-step plan enables you to guide the reader to solve the problem effectively. Case studies. Everybody likes a good story. If anything, most people would like to see stories involving changes to other people's lives before and after something happened. These personal stories draw people in. They were able to connect on a person-to-person basis. You can use these case studies to not only build up your mailing list, but also to upsell whatever service or product your company is promoting. You can even upsell members who sign up to your mailing list for case studies to other mailing lists. The possibilities are endless. Case studies work in most niches, but this is not a slam dunk across the board. Keep that in mind. Latest and greatest news. This is my personal favorite. You have to understand that when you're giving away some sort of bribe for somebody to join your mailing list, you run the risk of attracting people who only sign up for the bribe. It doesn't matter whether you're giving out software, cheat sheets, booklets, books, templates, or whatnot. There's a chance that your mailing list might be filled with list squatters. This is the kind of risk you run. On the other hand, if you promote the updates that people would get by signing up to your list, there's a strong chance that the people ending up in your list would actually read your emails. They would not be list squatters who ignore the updates that you send. As you probably already know, you will only make money off your mailing list when people actually bother to open and read them. Showcase the latest and greatest news in your niche. Make the value of this information clear to potential list members. Unfortunately, this is not a strong value proposition for all niches. If you run a news website for a very specific niche, a newsletter would be a great way to build up your mailing list. On the other hand, if you are in a niche where developments tend to come very slowly or people have a fixed idea as to what the problems are and these don't seem to change, you might not get many takers for your newsletter. Offering the latest and greatest news works best for niches that have constant developments. Canned webinars. Webinars are video-based seminars. You can upload these on YouTube and spoon-feed the URLs of these videos via email. You should also include a quick cheat sheet or a summary of the information contained in the video seminars with each of your emails. Let's face it, people don't really want to read a ton of text to learn something new. When given a chance, most people would rather watch a short video to learn a specific solution. This is why, not surprisingly, a lot of people love video-based seminars, as long as these seminars deliver solutions that people are actively searching for. These make for great mailing list incentives. Software. While the internet is filled with free software, it seems that people can't get enough apps, macros, or other software products. As long as they solve a specific problem people face, you can bet that offering this free software in exchange for emails will help you build up your mailing list fairly quickly. The secret to offering software as a list incentive revolves around specificity. The more specific the software is to a problem related to people interested in your niche, the higher the chance your squeeze page will convert. However, if you're offering some sort of generic software that people can get elsewhere or a software that addresses a vague problem that may seem to be related to your niche, you might have a tougher time. Keep that in mind. Also, please note that software is not exactly cheap to code. You can build your own software, or more likely, you're going to have to hire somebody to code it for you. This might cost you quite a bit of money. Graphics packages. Depending on your niche, people might be interested in downloading a free package of icons, badges, photos, or other graphical materials. While this makes for a great incentive for niches that involve online promotions, web design, web development, it doesn't apply across the board. For example, if you are targeting the weight loss niche, few people would be interested in seeing photos of fit people. They know they need to lose weight. They don't need photos of slim people to remind them of that problem. Instead, they're looking for other types of content to address their issue. Custom consultation. If you really want to turbocharge the number of people joining your list, you might want to consider giving out custom consultations. These involve people contacting you via Skype and you taking them through a problem. You have to tightly define the kind of consultation you have with people. Otherwise, you might sink into a time black hole. Seriously, there are people out there that just love to talk. They would chat your ear off if you let them. Your consultation must be focused on a very targeted problem, so as to minimize the amount of time you spend with a list member. Remember, there will be people who would sign up for your mailing list just to consult with you, and then once the consultation is over, they would unsubscribe from your list. Factor this into the amount of time you spend on custom consultations. Personally, I would research the most frequently asked questions, so I would basically just copy and paste this material into the custom consultation. Tweak it a little bit and get that consultation down to as close to 1 minute as possible. You don't want to spend too much time on custom consultations. Ideally, you should outsource this to somebody who would copy and paste specific answers to common questions. Key takeaway for incentives. The key takeaway here should be obvious. Giving away a book or booklet for people to sign up to your mailing list is simply not enough. You have to figure out the industry standard giveaway for your niche and try to outdo the stuff that other people are giving away. Ideally, you should go through all 10 incentives above and pick out the most effective one. It all boils down to coming up with something better or something that has a greater perception of value. Avoid this problem. As I have mentioned earlier, there are going to be people who join your list just for the freebie. These are list squatters. To some extent, you really can't afford these people. You basically have to accept the fact that a certain percentage of your list will be squatters. Your job is to get that percentage as close to zero as possible. One way to nip this problem in the bud is to sell people on the value of your list. While your squeeze page should do a good job selling the value of your incentive, You should also talk about what they would get in the email updates you'll be sending them. You should be clear that once they join, they will be receiving emails. Highlight the value those emails contain. Otherwise, when people start receiving emails, they would either unsubscribe or, worse yet, they won't unsubscribe. They would just take up space on your email roster. Depending on the email service provider you go with, you might get charged for the amount of list squatters you have. It may well turn out that only 1% of your mailing list of 100,000 people actually engage with your emails. These are people who actually open and read and click through your email. 99,000 people, on the other hand, are simply squatting on your list. Depending on your list provider, you might have to pay for those people. Avoid this unnecessary drama by spelling out the value of list membership in addition to the freebie you're handing out. Also, when people download the freebie, highlight the value of the email on the confirmation or freebie download page. The key here is to prevent people from being surprised by your email updates after they have downloaded your incentive. You really can't blame people for ignoring your emails if you focus so much of your time on the incentive and people don't get a clear idea that they will actually be receiving email updates from you.